right, so what do you have? Anna Kasparian. Wait, what? Anna Kasparian admits that she was guilty of TDS. I don't know TDS. Oh, Trump derangement syndrome. That Trump broke her brain. Politics has substituted religion. I am 1,000,000% guilty of allowing him to break my brain. Most liberals would rather die or destroy their lives than admit they were wrong about Trump. Gotta be honest, like this is so true. If you would have asked me this 4 or 5 years ago, this whole Trump derangement syndrome nonsense, I wouldn't have said this was true as like just some talking point for Republicans. But honestly, like this is real. Like I think a lot of Democrats, a lot of left-wing people are insane. Like they're insane. Trump could do anything, and it's like their brains are broken. They're not rational anymore. Like he may not even do anything. I don't know. I don't know how else to explain it, but they're irrational. They think that he's going to be a dictator. I've heard him be called the king, all kind of, it's just irrational. Like some people who I know have rational thoughts, who are like common sense driven. They believe the most insane things. They say the most insane things. And if a Republican would have said or believed some of the things that they said, they would call him crazy. But for some reason, this orange man and his party and his followers have broken their brains, and they refuse to admit it, and they don't realize it. It's crazy to me. But it seems like Anna, thankfully, and I've kind of gotten wind of this before, like, or recently, maybe she's like waking up to this, that the left is just kind of like insane. Like, I generally don't know how else to explain it to people. I've tried with like some of my friends and my family, again, reasonable people, and they just don't, I don't know. Like, I don't know what happened. I think they just need to turn off all media, step away, especially anything doing with politics, live their lives and see what they really believe in and stand for, and then come back. Because right now, like, the left has gone too far left, and anybody who's against them, this has been going on for like 4 or 5, 7 years. I don't know. Like, you know, I'm not going to really get into that, but anyway, let's just see what Anna says. I'm going to agree with her. I already know.
I think that politics has substituted religion to some extent.
Some good coffee.
People have almost like this religious zealotry toward their political beliefs. And when that happens, it's really difficult to have a conversation with someone without it immediately devolving into allegations of bad faith, of lying, deception, all sorts of things. And so maybe that's part of it. But honestly, I didn't really notice this as an issue in America until Donald Trump was running for president, and then after he got elected as president. And I am 1,000,000% guilty of honestly allowing him to kind of break my brain for a little bit.
Okay.
Because I saw him as such a significant threat. I think
thank you. Like it's so, bro, it is so obvious. It's so obvious. Anybody who has any clear eyes and like no real party affiliation, who actually thinks they're, maybe you can be center right, center left. The people who are like so against Trump, especially on the left, their brains are broken. Like their brains, they wouldn't, some of the stuff that they say and believe, they never would have believed before Trump. Like it's actually insane to me. And it sounds like Ada's actually waking up to it. Hold on, wait, is there more? There are more videos. Let's watch them all. What is this one? I don't even know. Let's see.
Reversals of certain reversals of Trump era immigration policies, which at the time I didn't give Trump credit for because he wasn't really applauded for it, and I didn't realize that the Remain in Mexico policy was actually very successful.
Ha! I don't know what the policy is.
Reversing it did lead to.
Sorry, I gotta pause. I don't even know what that policy is. I have to look it up. But the fact that she's even admitting that. So you mean to tell me that Trump actually did do something right? He actually did. If you watch like MSNBC or these other left wing like politics and podcasts and all that, you would think this guy did nothing. He was just out there just like shooting people, shooting people, graping, doing all kind of nonsense. Like everybody auntie getting deported. Like he just did nothing right. He did nothing right. It was nonsense. Their brains are broken. Yeah.
To the crisis at the border that ended up being a political liability that backed him up into a corner, and suddenly he's hitting up Republicans in the Senate asking them to write legislation that Republicans would like. So there are some flaws on the left for sure, And I think it's important to be real about those flaws and certain
Oh boy.
reversals of
Oh
Trump
boy.
era immigration
Somebody
policy,
done woke up
which
Anna. What's this one?
at the time I my own life and how that mind well I started thinking about my own life and how that mindset was actually having a real world impact on my life.
Pause. I don't know where she's going with this, but that first what is that, 8 seconds? That's legit where I was. Yeah. It was after the whole Bernie and Hillary thing. I became very jaded with politics, and I was like, man, this is a joke. Like, we're voting for the same stuff that our parents voted for. We get no progress. It's left, right bullshit. Like, it's just nonsense, right? And seeing how Bernie was pushed out, because again, in my mind, and I think history tells it, he was the correct candidate. He would have won. I don't care what anyone says. Shut up. You're wrong. Like, you're wrong. He was the candidate, right? I was jaded. I said, I'm not watching any of this politics. I'm going to leave everything, not watch any of these commentary channels, not watch the news, see what I stand for and believe in. And I probably hit the same revelation that she hit. I was like, I think I'm a genuinely moral person. But I could see that the left is insane. They are blue MAGA. There's MAGA on the far right, and there's MAGA on the left. Y'all blue MAGA people are crazy. Y'all are crazy. Y'all spent 4 or 5 years bashing everybody online, trying to cancel people. It's everybody else's fault besides your own. Like, nah, bro. Like, y'all did it to yourselves. Now you got to live with the consequences.
In terms of like just this defeatist attitude, feeling as though I don't have all these opportunities that people used to have in this country. And look, some things have devolved.
I used to feel just like that.
That's certainly true. However, there is a reason why so many people from all around the world are trying to come in to the United States. This is a land of opportunity, even still. And I want to find ways to empower people to get after it, to go for their dreams, to not have a defeatist attitude or mentality. I don't want to infantilize people.
Yep.
I think people, regardless of their race, regardless of where they come from, have the capacity to do amazing things. And what I am just disgusted by right now with one faction on the left, it's not everyone on the left, but it is
blue
a faction.
MAGA.
They are very successful themselves. They've gone to wonderful universities. They've gotten a great education. They have lucrative careers.
NYU yapping right now.
Career really hinges on spreading this message that there are no opportunities left in America.
It's not true.
Okay, everything is all of our systems are set up in a way to discriminate against certain groups of people.
Yep.
They're never going to be able to make it unless we burn the system down. And what that does is it puts ideas, it plants a seed in people's heads, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And I don't want to feed into that. I want to find ways to empower people while also understanding, hey, there are some systemic flaws that maybe we can reform and make better.
Oh my God. So how could anybody watch that and listen to that and not think what you just said is reasonable? I feel like everyone on the left, including myself, had that same mentality. Hold on a second, Anna. Where like everyone was against us, especially as a minority. Like there's no way to actually pull yourself up by your bootstraps. There's still hell of opportunity in America. There's things for you to do. Like, you just have to kind of get after it, play the game. You know how things are against you, quote unquote, or for you, but play the game. There's a reason why people are still trying to come here. Whether you think America is stolen everything. You know, I've heard so many of these arguments. Yeah, yes, it's true, but guess what? You live here. You live here. If you consider yourself an American, and your parents consider themselves American, you want to make it here, guess what? You need to actually try to make it here. There are people literally dying to try to come here. Like, it's just true, guys. Like, it's true. Stop this nonsense and following people who are going to these Ivy League universities on the left, meanwhile telling you that, what did Biden say? Was it Biden or whoever said that, oh, black kids don't even know what a computer is? Some nonsense. Just absolute nonsense. Let's stop it. Stop it, bro. Hold on. Anna's got another one. I think it's the last one.
Like up the stairs. And so I'm like trying to get his bicycle like up the stairs. And all of a sudden, this man stops me. His name's Jeff. And he's like, hey, let me help you out with that. And he starts helping me out. He stopped everything he was doing to help me out. And then Jeff and I became very close. You know, one of my neighbors who I really like, he was my favorite person in the entire building. And years go by. One day we're in an HOA meeting, homeowners association. And one of the people living in the building said something about Trump that was negative. I don't remember what it is. And Jeff whispers in my ear, oh, she's going to start trashing Trump. I'm out of here. And it hit me that he's a Trump supporter. We had never talked about politics before.
Think about that.
And I'm like, so I got to know Jeff before I knew what his politics were. Incredibly kind guy. He helps everyone in this building with anything they might need. And so that woke me up to, wait a minute, not all Trump supporters are like dangerous, evil individuals.
Thank you.
And yes,
not a Trump supporter, by the way.
It was stupid that I thought that to begin with. Like, I'm embarrassed admitting that, but it's just how I believed. And that kind of was one of the moments where it's like a light bulb went off and something was telling me, you need to scratch beneath the surface a little more because you don't have a realistic view of what's going on here.
Boom. That every Democrat, every person that voted for Kamala, anybody who's like shaving their head, all these mentally ill people on social media, just to be honest, think about what Anna just said. She's right. She's right. You guys are insane. Everyone who voted for Trump or supports Trump is not a bad person. It's not a bad person. There are lots of bad people who voted for Trump. There's lots of bad people that voted for Kamala. The people in the middle, or what we consider the middle, 90% of people just want their lives to be better, their children to be good, make more money, don't go to war. Like this is stuff that every generation has talked about. But for some reason, this orange man, well, I know why, because he talks crazy. He talks crazy, but just like any other politician, he's yapping. He was just the president. Did he do any of the stuff he wanted to do? Did he become a king, or did he said he wanted to do? Did he become a king? I'm gonna take over everything. You got black people saying they're gonna leave the country. Like every time a Republican wins, at least since I've been alive, they're like, oh, I'm leaving. We got to go to Canada. Why? What you talk like? It's fear mongering. It's nonsense. Everyone who votes for Trump or likes Trump or even semi likes Trump or agrees with any of his policy, it's not a bad person. Listen to what they're saying. Listen to their concerns. And maybe you might actually agree with some of it. I'm willing to bet that, and I'll talk about this from like the black community. The vast majority of the black community, I know for a fact, our homes are conservative. We in our homes is very, very conservative, but for some reason, when it comes to voting, I voting left wing, and it don't make sense to me. It's just like, as I've gotten older, I'm just like, this really just doesn't make any sense. And full disclosure, and I don't care, I did not vote this election. I've been jaded. I don't agree. I don't like either candidate. Only reason, but honestly, if I did vote, and I've said this to other people, I was never voting for Kamala. What was Kamala going to do that was any different than Biden? It would be stupid for me to vote for her. The country's not doing great. There's inflation. We're in all these wars. Like why would I choose to vote for that? The only reason I can't vote for Trump is because, again, not every Trump supporter is racist or bad, but every racist is a Trump supporter. And I can't be on that same side. I'm just sorry. I'm sorry. I can't. So I know some other black people who are able to do that. I see some of them on YouTube, but I can't because I see those racists as well. I see them harassing kids in the streets. Like, I've seen these videos, right? But I get when they're saying people on the left, those crazy liberals who are out like harassing people. It's the same thing. But like for me, that's just like, that's a bridge too far for me. But anyway, like I'm happy Anna seems to be like coming to a realization that, yeah, you might have broken your brain a bit. Like it's probably like in this MSNBC bubble. I know TYT wasn't really like that, but like those people who like watch MSNBC all the time and in their echo chambers and listening to Hassan yap about nonsense and destiny, it's like, oh God, you're no different than Ben Shapiro and them. Like get out of your echo chamber. Like stop it, bro. Like it drives me insane. It drives me insane. If I didn't care about the whole racist stuff, probably would have voted for Trump. And I've said that before. Yeah, like if there was no racist on his side, and like he didn't have like some history of racism, I'd vote for Trump. Like his for me at least, his policies were better. Like he just was better. And to me, it was so obvious that he was going to win. I knew 3 years ago that he was going to win. It's so clearly populism. It's so clearly that everyone online who was against quote unquote wokeness, we're going to vote against that. You knew this 3 years ago. You're canceling people. You're bashing people. You want them to vote for you. Like, come on. It was just stupid. And lastly, because I could go on about this forever, the whole term woke, I'm so upset that it has turned into this negative thing due to people using it incorrectly. The term woke was never meant to be used the way that they're using it, but now it carries a negative connotation. And I'm not going to go into further detail because the people who know what the term used to mean or still means knows what I'm referring to. But that just drives me insane. But that just adds more to the fact that people don't listen to one another. Both sides are just yapping. And if anyone was paying attention, they would know, especially on the left, that they lost this election 3 years ago. You cannot go online and bash men, bash black men, bash minorities, bash anybody who disagrees with you, and then turn around and expect them to vote for you. And then you still to this day, you still won't look in the mirror and claim responsibility for the stuff that you did. It's everyone else's fault but your own. But anyway, sounds like Anna's waking up. I don't think the Democrats are going to wake up. I think if they don't, it's going to be like 12, 16, however many years of Republican leadership because the Democrats are crazy. They're just crazy. I don't know how else to say it. But anyway, I'm done.